I'm your host Bojan Dulovic. So in this episode we're going to do something really nice. We're going to take this guy right here, which is the NESPi case, and we're going to take the RetroPie 3. In your case it could also be the RetroPie 2, doesn't matter. We're going to put them together, create something beautiful. So I'm going to unbox this guy and I'm going to show you how to put the RetroPie 3, yes, that's right, into this case. All right, let's get going. All right, guys, so here's the beautiful box from the front. So there you go, it looks really nice. There's the side, and then here's the back. So it basically looks like the unit. Here's the other side, and again the front, and then here's the top and the bottom side. Really nice. All right, so there you go. Let's open it up. So there's really not much inside. When you open it up, there's basically the unit right there. And let's take it outside. So it basically takes up most of the room. And then aside from the actual case, you will see there's a manual. There you go. Okay, so this is what comes in the box. Here's obviously the packaging. That's the actual case. You get a screw driver here that comes with it, the manual, and then some screws for the case. So that's it. Let's open up the box here to see what it looks like. First of all, here's, let me get that in a shot. Let me move this stuff. So here's what it looks like from all the sides. And there's that. So to open it up, you just literally pop it open, and there you go. So let me try to get that in a shot. It's tricky. There you go. So on this one here, the top one, as you can see over here, there is room for a fan, which you can order separately and install it. I didn't do it, but I might do it later on. And it's probably a good idea, especially if you're going to play games that require more power and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's that. And then if you look at this guy here, so as you can see, this is the board that comes with it. It's pretty straightforward. This basically gets attached to the Raspberry Pi, and so does this. And then they create the additional ports over here. And same with the back. The micro USB one, the one from the Raspberry Pi doesn't actually get used. It's this one here that gets used, and then the HDMI port gets used from Raspberry Pi, and this is for the audio. And then here, obviously, that's for the micro SD card. So that's that. Let me show you, in addition to this, what I got. So I'm just going to move this slightly out of frame. I'm just going to move this stuff out. So in addition to this, obviously I got the Raspberry Pi 3, and this is the Model B. So this one, it comes with built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is great. So let's do just a basic unboxing here. Not much in here really. I mean, you've got the menu here. Yeah, nothing else. And then here's the actual board. So visually it looks pretty much the same as the version 2. Like I said, there's just some key differences. This one is a bit faster. It's got more RAM, and it's got built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is great. You can put the Raspberry 2 in this case as well. It's not a problem. It'll work. And there you go. There's that. I'm sure you've seen this one before. If not, well, there's a good look. So let's assemble this. It's very simple, really. I'm just going to move this out of frame. So there you go. So all you have to do is First of all, let's take a look at the menu. It's really just a few steps. Don't know if you can see that or not, but basically step 1 is you attach, these cables here. Step 2 is you attach this cable here and you place it in, and then you there's 2 screws that you screw in, and then you do the outside screws for the case. It's pretty straightforward, right? So let's put that here. So it goes this way. So now there's a few things to keep in mind. When attaching the USB, it has to go into the middle, and then well, this one network cable is just going to go here. No other place to go really. There's that. Now the other important thing, so this one here, the way that one goes is the red has to go on the outside, so it goes to the last 4 or last 5 pins. Put it in, and then the red one has to go on the outside. I don't know if you can see that. That's important. If you don't do this, it's not going to power up properly, as far as I understand it. Can you ruin the whole thing? So just keep that in mind. And just to double check on this one, it will tell you here. You know what? Let me readjust. So as you can see here, it will show you that basically there's only 1 pin left on the right side and 2 on the left side. So that's very important, which is what we have here. Adjusting focus. Probably can't see it, but that's what we have here. So that's that. Now, if you did get a fan, the fan would attach right here, and that's basically all there is. So now really the tricky part is getting this guy to lock in. To actually be placed properly. It's kind of tricky. Best way is probably to look at this side here and to line up these ports. Okay, that worked. And then make sure this is lined up, and yeah, these cables, yeah, this is the thing. You gotta move this up and put these cables behind. Honestly, this is the most complicated part about this. Okay, I think we got it. Cool. So these 2 holes, that's where you're going to put the screw in. If we go back to the, where is it? Yeah. So if we look at it, this is the way the diagram is facing. So these 2 screws here, which is this. Honestly, you can probably get by with just having 1 screw, but that's better to have 2. So there's 1. Got this guy right here. Okay, so that's it. Don't screw it in too tightly because you don't want to damage the board. I mean, as long as it's not moving, I mean, this is not going anywhere. It's pretty sturdy. So that's it, folks. And then you just got to take the case and put it on. That's it. Beautiful. So let me screw these ones on. Now what you need is to put the card inside. So I've got a 64 gig SanDisk card right here, facing up. And that's it. Card is in. So I also got this power supply right here. Just got it off of Amazon. All the links will be in the notes. Now I made sure to get a 2500 milliamp one just because of power problems. You can get a little lower, but I would recommend get a 2500. This really wasn't much All right, guys, so it worked like a charm. Here's the guy again. I mean, this is just, listen, for anyone who has, who's had a childhood in the 80s or in the 90s. I mean, my childhood was really in the 90s, but still, this thing is just, it's something you will always remember. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about this design that just, it's just awesome. I don't know how else to say it. So I grew up in Europe, so the SNES or the SNES, whatever it's pronounced, depending where you are, look different than what it does here. I didn't actually realize that that's what it looked in North America, which is the very boxy kind of a design, similar to this guy, right? It was very different in Europe and in Japan as well, and I actually prefer the European version. I don't know, I just think it looks cooler. So that was really my kind of that was my generation. But yeah, when it comes to design, this guy just, you can't beat it. And honestly, I think Retro Flag did an amazing job replicating basically the NES Classic. It doesn't exactly look like it. The dimensions aren't exactly the same, but honestly, it's close enough. The only thing that I guess stands out a little bit if you're looking for it, the color right here, it's got a slight of I don't know, maybe yellowish tint. It's like very, very slight. It's not exactly the same color as the NES Classic, but again, you got to be a douchebag like me to actually, look at that and notice it. Most people won't even notice it. So aside from that, there's only one thing that I wish they had done slightly different. It's not really a big thing, but it's so first of all, this hatch actually opens, right? Which is freaking cool. It really is. Now, that's awesome, and as you can see, you've got two additional ports here, and you've got also the Ethernet port. So if you want to plug it in, which is great. The problem though is because it's here, for example, the Ethernet port, because it's here, if you want to plug it in, you would have to, you would usually have it plugged in all the time. So if you have it plugged in all the time, it kind of looks silly having this cable come in right here. You know what I mean? So it would have made more sense to have the Ethernet port in the back somewhere, and it's okay to have the two USB ports here because you've got two right here, right? So these could be for your controllers, and this could be for maybe, maybe you want to put in a USB stick to load some ROMs or whatever, right? So it's cool to have them here. The only thing I would have done differently is have them go more inside, so that you could actually put, if you have a Raspberry Pi 2 and, you want to put a Wi-Fi dongle inside here, so you could actually put that dongle in there, and then you could still close this thing, right? Right now you can't do that. There's really no room to put anything here and close it, right? Again, it's certainly not a deal breaker. I mean, this thing is freaking awesome, right? It is cool. And that's it. Honestly, I mean, the design is just beautiful. On the back here, you do have the little cartridge thing. So here you can put some extra cards or whatever, and it just closes off, which is really cool. It's a really nice touch. You have the power button, you have the reset button. Now, here's the thing. This is not your grandpa's console, right? So unlike the actual NES console or any other console where you could just push the button, the power button, you could turn it off, turn it on, don't do it with this one. The proper way of shutting this guy down is you go into the menu, you push the the select or the start button, you go quit, and then you go system shutdown. It shuts down, and then push this one, basically to turn it off fully. Don't just turn this off using the button. Shut it down properly, otherwise you will damage the Pi, and you're not going to be a happy camper. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind, this reset button here, unless you hack it, and there's a script to hack it, it is useless. Don't use it, because all it's going to do is just disconnected. So disconnected from the power, right? Which again is not a good thing. You shouldn't be doing that. Obviously, worst case scenario, your Pi is frozen. I guess then, yeah, what else you gonna do? You gotta use this. If there's no other way to, reboot it, then use it. Other than that, do not use the reset button. I have seen a video where there is a script or a line of code that you put into the command line. I don't know all the specifics that will make the reset button more useful. So look into that if you are interested in that. But otherwise, just pretend it's just an aesthetic choice. I mean, to have the button there so it looks like the actual NES. That's about it, right? So other than that, I mean, it's a pretty tiny case. I mean, you can see it right here. I mean, here's my hand. It fits pretty much in the palm of my hand, right? So it's a pretty small case, but once you put the Pi in there, it's got some nice weight to it, right? So yeah, visually looks great. It obviously works fine. Stay tuned. I will be doing more videos on this guy. The one thing I'm gonna do a video on is the fan inside. So right now I don't have a fan inside, and I don't even have heat sinks inside, which is not good. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing a video on how to install a fan and how to put the heat sinks on the actual board, which are important. You don't want this guy to overheat, right? So yeah, other than that, this thing is great. Just plug it into HDMI, micro USB cord to power. Bob's your uncle. That's all it is, folks. So that's all I got for now. Stay tuned for more, and follow me on all the social media platforms. My name is Bojan Dulovic, or type in Dulovic Studio. And like or dislike this video, whichever way you want to go. Please subscribe to my channel and check out the links in the notes, the Amazon affiliate links to this guy and everything else. It really helps the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra if you use my links, but yes, I do get a little money from that. It helps me so I can buy more gadgets, review them, and share it with you lovely folks. So that's all I got for now. Stay tuned. Thanks.